Welcome back. I have to say I'm somewhat embarrassed. I shut that last video off so fast and I didn't finish it with you. I was having a moment where I needed to eat and sugar levels were dropping pretty fast, and so I wasn't real coherent and not thinking about what I was doing. So I apologize. So this last signature, all you needed to do was actually tape the perimeter on the back side and then put a couple of strips through the center so that this piece will stay connected to the cardstock on the back side. And there were two pockets that I wanted to get done for you. So I have almost finished one, just see how the cut would work. And I'm saving the other one to go over with you. Pretty simple, really. So the cardstock pieces themselves, they will measure at 9 inches. They're going to go the length of the pocket. And I cut them at 4 5/8. So there's plenty of room to put photos on there. And then I found a piece of paper that I really liked. I thought it was bright and cheery, and a couple of photos on this, or one big long photo, would work real well. Now I have a couple of I have a die set that I use of tags, and so I made a couple of tag pulls to put on. You can use just about anything that you want to use on this. So I am just going to finish up this one, get it inserted. From the cut aparts, I found this little arrow tag that says notes. I've put it on some black cardstock so it would stand out a little bit. And it's just an embellishment. It doesn't, the intention is not to do notes on here, but to try to break up this wild pattern, I thought I would put that on there. Now, I'm not putting anything on the back as of yet. I want to see how much paper is left when I get to the end. I am counting papers as I go to make sure that I'm going to have enough to get through this album, and then if there is any left, I will then come back and cover the backs of those. But there you go, that's going to go right in there. And then this one is just got to be glued. As soon as I get this done, then we're going to move right immediately on to the next signature. And I have fortified myself with food so I don't get the shakes and all the other stuff that come with that. And then I took this tag. It says the beach. And we're just going to make sure I get some glue down here. And the same thing, just going to stick it on here. And then it will go right in here in this pocket. So those are done. So this signature is done. And again, I apologize. So moving onward, take a 1/2 inch strip of paper and we're going to cover the back side of this. And then we're going to move right on into our new signature. If I can keep all my pieces together. I'm starting to use paper clips so that things don't separate and wander all over my workspace here, and then they get lost. All right, so let's kind of move on into the internal part of this. Uh-oh, things are sliding. All right, so this piece, this was the paper I selected, and on the back it's got a ship's wheel. I don't remember what else was. Oh, it had a lantern down here. but I'm working with this side. So this is coming in, measuring in at 9 1/4 across and 9 3/4 in height. We're going to make a pocket, a side pocket. You can put it on whatever side you want to put it on. And this is out of the scraps. I love this. I don't know why, but I really like that pattern. So that's going to go on there. And then in the cut aparts, I cut out the turtle and then I backed it on some black cardstock. And he's just going to come down here and rest at the bottom. And then you've got your tuck and then lots of room here for pictures. So I'm going to go ahead and get some tape put on this. And I promise I will complete this all the way through for you. But I'm hoping that you could have figured out how to get it in the album part. But my bad. Okay, just snug right down. I'm sorry, let me get you back in frame here. Snug right down here in that corner. Follow the exterior line all the way up. Oh, for Pete's sake. That tape follows me everywhere. All right, now I'm going to glue the back side of this. We're going to slip this in here. Going to do the interior part of this first, and then we're going to add the pages, and then we're going to set, whoa, come on, set our magnet. All right, Mr. Turtle. So Mr. Turtle is just going to sit down here, and I don't want to glue very much of him because I don't want him to stick to my paper. Using my finger kind of as a stopping point. Perfect. He's just going to come sit right there. Okay. I don't know that I'll be using glue much again, but I'm going to cap that off real quick. Okay, so let's start with the left. I'm sorry, I'm going to put all those together so that they don't get messed up. So this piece, your left panel, the first one, is going to come in at 5 5/8, and the height on these are all going to be the same, 9 3/4. So 5 5/8, and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Sometimes I get myself dizzy when I'm trying to figure out how am I going to turn that thing over. I'm just crazy. All right, so that will stay down a little bit better so that page is in. I'm going to stay with the left side. All right, now this piece is going to come across quite a ways. This is going to measure at 7.5 inches across. You're going to score it at a 1/2 inch, and then you're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch, so that we've got a nice little buildup on a gusset there, because this is going to wrap around. Now, because we don't have a big build immediately underneath of this, you're going to come right up to that 1/2 inch score line. And pull this over. That will have the gusset, what I refer to as in the front. I don't want it out here on this side, if you will. Hold on just a second. I don't want it on the side like this. I want it what I call in the front when I'm looking at it from the back. Now I just noticed too that I didn't get that on there very well. I've got some tape showing, so you'll bear with me. We're going to do a little bit of an operation on this. Surgery. I'm going to pull that in and then reset it. I'm going to hold it down. Hope that the glue takes right away. We'll see. Okay, I think we're doing okay. All right, so those are your 2 flaps on this side. Now let's move to the left side, and we're going to have a small, I got so many pieces floating here. I'm hoping I don't lose them all. All right. Okay, hold on here. I need to do a little bit of a paper clip so I can keep everything together. All right, this piece for your left side is going to measure at 4.5 inches, and you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. Put the tape on, and let's go ahead and get this adhered to the signature, to your base page. Now the next page, it'll all come together. I just have to, now this is going to be your outer flap to this page. And this is going to measure at 6 1/4 across, scoring at a 1/2 inch, and then scoring it at 3/4 of an inch. And the same with the other side. We don't have a big buildup here, so we're going to come right up to that 1/2 inch score line. And then I'm going to lay that taped edge over. Now I'm going to push back because I want that the additional score line to stand up so that my gussets are always standing up to the front. Now, magnets. Where are they? Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Okay, that's not what I want. These are big pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set one large magnet roughly in the center. And then I'm going to, I don't know why, but my magnet count is off on this little guy. Well, I've got some more. So then I'm going to do playing nice. Oh, there it is. I was just going to say, how can I be off? It's stuck in there. All right, and then we're going to put another one down here so that this has a little bit of support in that magnet department. Now I've pulled this off of another project, so I'm going to have to put some tape on this little guy. Put it down, and these are fighting each other. It's because they're opposites, so I'm going to have to put some tape on the back side of this one. All right. If you want to just use one, you can. If you want to use two big ones, one up here and one down here, I'm using a couple of the little ones. Now these are basic gray magnets. You can get them from Scrap and Create. She carries them in stock. Make sure that these are level. And little slide and they'll come right off. And I'm going to leave that on there for now because I don't want to be messing with some sticky pieces. All right. Now I'm going to work from the outside in simply because that's how I've got everything kind of piecemealed here. All right, so in your, it's this one, in your stash of stuff, you have a piece of paper. This one's going on the inside. That has this, there's a name for what this is, this compass, but there's a specific name. But anyway, it's this image. This is its opposite side. So it was a 12 by 12. And the reverse side had, I kind of had a cutting boo-boo, had the image of the lighthouse. But I want this side. So this piece is going to go here. And then the remaining is going to go over here. Now, you're going to cut to fit. Okay, so however you want this to look on the border, go ahead and measure it in and cut it to fit that page. I'm going to tape this in because of its size. And I'm missing my... Oops. Little bit here in the center. This roll of tape is just about done, and I'm kind of glad because it's just falling apart. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna set this in here, make sure my cut is where I want it to be. And I can see I got just a little bit crazy with the tape. Come on. Why are you sticking? Oh, come off of there. There we go. Boy, that was a little stubborn. And I got excess tape up here as well. Just got kind of crazy there. I went over on the edge on that all the way around. All right, so for the front of this, I know there are big pages that have these images on them, but I like to play with the cut-aparts, and I like to play with the images. So I am putting this down here. The bottom of this kind of matches up with some of this. I'm going to take a brass piece and put it there where the the windmill is. And then in your cutouts, I took this card that says, wherever you go, go with all your heart. And that's going to come right up here at the top. Now, the way I want to install this is that you should be able to come in behind this. It'll be a tuck, and you can put a photo, put notes, memoirs in behind this on the front page. Okay? And then this is going to take, I want it to be sturdy, so I'm going to use 3/8 of an inch tape, and I'm going to come right across the bottom. And then I want to do another layer. And yes, I could have used wider tape, but I don't have as much control where I'm placing it. Take this off. This tape is just being a bear today. Not sure why. It's me. All right, now I'm going to take this tape that's kind of hanging out over here where it doesn't belong, and I'm just going to roll it back. And then come back in here, center this where I want it to be, and then press it down. There. So you have a nice tuck. All right, so now we're going to go to this side over here. Oh, I wanted to put that brass. I think it just kind of dresses that up a little bit. Okay. Now, just in case that falls off, I do not want to get that glue on my other papers. Okay, let's finish the inside of this. So this one I'm going to glue in, but for here, in the cut-aparts, there is a clock, and there's a little tag that says album. And I'm going to build the top of it so it looks like that. And then I've got another brass ring or gear that I'm going to put right there. Okay? So let's go ahead and get this. I totally had one of my moments with the cutting board. Just went wacko with it. Go to put it on my cards next to the cardstock to double check measurement, and I had cut in the wrong spot, so I have taped down the center. But I think I did a pretty good job of hiding it. Oh, for Pete's sake. There's magnets on this page. Dead blasted. Okay, my fault. I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed that I never have to get into this. And I wouldn't be so nervous about it if it weren't for the fact that I've done that a couple times. I've messed up something and had to go back in, move the magnets around. You can't really see that seam that much. All right, now where are my, there they are. Okay, so the clock, it's gonna come and sit just to the left of center. And then this little tag is going to come across right here. And then the gear. And it's going to sit right there. All right, that should take hold here fairly quickly. Yeah, that one did. Okay, I can already tell by touching it that it's... All right, now locate this piece of paper. Oh, I didn't even ink it. Locate this piece of paper in your 12 by 12s or your 8 by 8s if you're doing an 8 by 8 album. Ink your edges if that is what you like to do. I like the additional accent it gives, plus it covers up that white cut line. So this piece, we're going to cut several pieces off of this, or at least two, to fit into the album, but this one's going to go here on the left side panel. So trim to fit, save the rest. And I will tell you that on this signature, I'm doing a little bit of patchwork because there are pieces in the scraps that I want to use and they're not big enough. And I'm not going to cut another sheet of 12 by 12 just to get an inch. So I'm going to be doing a little patchwork when we get in here. So There it is. So the other part of that paper is going to go here. But we'll get to this side. I want to finish this side, but we're going to get to that side. So just kind of put it over to your right-hand side until we get there. Now, here is where I'm going to do a little bit of patchwork. This piece here is what's left over off of this cut, and this was one of the, I do believe, the A4 pages. I didn't want to waste this piece, so I am cutting it to put right here. And then I went into the scraps and I found a scrap that blended. It was a good blend, but it didn't look too outrageous, like it didn't belong. So I filled in this piece. So when I got done, just so you know, my measurement here on this guy was about almost 3 1/4. So then I ended up cutting about a 5/8 strip to bridge the gap here from the edge to meet up with this. I don't like changing papers too much when I'm cutting for a signature. I want there to be some continuity. So I do like to use the same pieces of paper from the same cut as much as I can, so that there isn't this hodgepodge of paperwork, that there's some kind of rhythm, if you will. So that's why I wanted to use this piece. And then I got to make sure I'm putting the right side on, because I inked one side, not the other, because the side that's going up next to this I didn't ink. And when photos get put in, this kind of stuff here, you'll hardly even notice it. And if you cut it right and get the right blend, then it doesn't look that off. And then what I was going to do, there's a little doodad I wanted to put here, but I think he's now, oh, here he is. I created a little pocket. Now I have a die that cuts this little pocket for me, but I'm going to give you the measurements because you can do this by hand. So you want about a 1/2 inch punch. This is going to measure at 3 1/4 inches across. You're going to have a 1/4 inch score on each end. And then this is going to measure at 2 5/8. Am I looking at it the right way? 2 5/8. And you're going to have another 1/4 inch score. So then, and then miter your corners, because you'll need to do that. That way when you tuck in behind, you're not seeing that corner fold over. And then I'm just going to add glue and set it down here on the bottom of this. Now the piece of paper, I just went to my scraps. I was able to cut almost an okay fit. What I did was I concentrated on all the perimeters and came in just a little bit, and I adjusted where my 1/2 inch punch would set so that that would kind of come down below. It's not ideal, it's not perfect, but it works. So we've got a nice small little pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Okay. And now I'm going to glue my corners, glue these down. Okay, so I just know I'm going to get glue all over my fingers, but I've got to push those underneath of there. Oh, don't do that. Come on. And then in your cut-aparts, you have these smaller tags that can sit in there. I'm just kind of curious. Oh, the bigger tags will sit in that size of a pocket quite nicely. Now, I might come back and put a little bit of an embellishment of some kind on here, but I'll come back and play with that a little bit later. So, flipping it over. I have in my scraps this piece. It came from an earlier cut, I think, when we were playing with the front of the album. But I wanted to play with it because I really like this piece right here. But again, like on the previous piece that we worked on, it's a bit short, so I went to my scraps and I found two pieces that I liked, and I'm going to do a piecework on them coming in. Now what I did not do was round my corners, so I know I'm going to have, this is going to be tricky. It'll work. Because I need to put these down first in order to put the centerpiece in, because I think when I was designing this I left a little bit of a gap. I'm going to turn my work this way. And I'm going to just come in here and set this in place. And then I'm going to do the same with the bottom piece. And if I did something wrong, I can fix it on this center piece. All right, so then this is going to sit. Oh gosh, I got it pretty close. I'm not worried about, there's a little bit of a gap, and if I wanted to, I could trim a little bit off so that there's a nice equal, I think I will do that because I like that. It kind of breaks that up just a little bit. So I'm going to make myself a pencil mark. Grab my itty bitty trimmer. Now let's see how that sits in there. All right, I like that. I like having that gap. Now, if you're using the same pieces of paper that I am, whether you're using 8x8 or 12x12, I would hope that you would have this in your scrap. If you, that kind of looks pretty too. If you don't, because I'm using a scrap and I'm not digging into the main part of the paper pad, you can look to your scraps to see what you have there, but you should have this. Okay. Looking good. So then in your cutouts, there's just this little simple tag that you could put some journaling notes on. I am taping it on the top part. It's going to come up here so that you've got a tuck. And then you still have room here for a photo. All right, so that's your right side. Now we'll go back over here to this side. So we've already done this page. Tape, 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 tape. So this was a large piece that I had cut off some from earlier and set this aside. So I'm going to use this now to fill in this space here. But I'm going to tape because of these guys. That way I'll only have to worry about destroying one part if I have to get back in here for some reason. There's this big ship image that's in this collection, and I am just really trying to figure out what to do. It is so huge, I don't know that I can do. Now, I like cutting things out and pulling them up off pages, but I don't know that I can do that piece justice. So I'm thinking about it. It's coming up here. I lay my papers out. This thing is falling all apart. I lay my papers out kind of in an order that I want. All right, I'm done with you. I'm throwing you out as soon as I get this piece cut. Anyways, I was saying I like to try and design a little bit of a layout so that I'm just not haphazardly just pulling papers and using them. I want kind of a theme to go through the book. Now, I need to get some 1/4-inch tape, so I'm going to step away here for just a second. Walk over here, get into my drawer. Oh, goodness sakes. One roll left. I need to go and reorder some. All right, now I'm set. I'm ready to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this. Oh, maybe this is. Maybe I'm not burnishing or burnishing hard enough. I don't understand. So anyway, back to the big ship. I don't know that I'll be able to do anything with it without ruining it. So we may not get to feature it in this album. Oh, that just did a slide. Let's pull you back this way, please. Thank you very much. Okay, now, oh, bigger pocket. Gonna go down here on this side right here. So let me give you the measurements for this because again, you'll be able to make it by hand. I just cheat and use my die. This is gonna be about a 3/4 inch punch. It's 4 1/4 inches across. You're going to score it here at a quarter inch, and then you're going to score it over here at a 1/4 inch. And then it's at 3 3/4 inch in width, and then again you're going to score it at a 1/4 inch. Burnish it back. Be sure to cut your corners on the diagonal. And then I did the same thing here. I went to the 1-inch punch. It's not perfect, but it works. So I'm going to go ahead and now this I will embellish the front of, just simply because the front of this is so similar to the paper pattern itself. I get glue over everything if I keep doing that. Okay, so it's going to sit down here. Now let's bebop into the... Oh, I'm wondering. Hold on here just a second. Oh, I was wondering where I could play with him at. Like I said, I had this in my stash. It is the same design, exactly the same design as one of the little brass embellishments that Julie sent me, and I think they're from the same company. So I'm going to ask Julie who makes this. So if you want to save this and then add your octopus later, or add whatever embellishments you want. But I think I'm going to put my octopus right here. Okay, let's go ahead and get this glued down. I have wanted to play with that octopus ever since I found it. I found it at a, I think that's where I got it from, was at a de-stash sale that someone was getting rid of a bunch of their stuff. And I just love stuff like that, so I grabbed it, and I don't know how long I've had it. Okay, now there was something else. Let me see if I can find it in here. Bear with me 2 shakes. Wasn't this? Thought I had another. Oh, there it is. I have this partial chain. I was going to play with. I don't know if this is going to work. Okay. He is so cool. I just love him. Well, that's definitely going to be a hot glued job. Let's get that warmed up while I move on. We'll come back to him. All right. Next pages. So we're going to have, here's the blue. This was the piece I cut to and then had this left over. This piece here, and then this piece here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Now, there are all kinds of sayings and quotes and tags and arrows that's in your paper collection that if you don't have something special to embellish right there, just pull out anything that you might have. You think you might have something in your stash. Maybe you've got this same guy in your stash. And then I was going to put Maritime. This is one of the cutout cards. And I've backed it on black cardstock. I'm running tape across the bottom so that this has now become a tuck. And I'm going to wonder if that's going to create a problem or if I'm going to need to trim. I didn't think about that. I'm going to do a little bit of trimming here. Okay, better. All right, so then we got your tuck right here, and then we're going to go to the inside. And this pretty blue paper. I just love the coral colors, the cracked paint-like feature on this. And this is, again, out of the A4 papers. And then one of the tags that says adventure, I tied a piece of ribbon. I put on my own grommet, punched the hole, put the grommet on there. You don't have to. So you can take just the tag if you want to back it on black cardstock. And then I ran tape on the bottom half. So again, here is another tuck. And you still have room to put a photo up there. All right, so I thought I had an element for this piece here, but I am not seeing it. We can go find something real quick. Let's see, we've already used the porthole. I don't want to use that. I've already used that. I'm not ready to use that. Let's see what's in here. Ooh, we have a seahorse. That would make a good tuck. Sailor Club. Everything is always changing. Ooh, I like that guy right there. Gives a good place to do a little tad bit of journaling. So let's ink around the edges. I'm going to back it on black cardstock. Say that real fast several times. Okay. Let me dig over here. I know I've got big black pieces that this will fit on. We have to have a big back. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. So I just make my tick mark right here. Cut it. Glue it. And then we'll run a little bit of tape across the bottom. Take that off and put it right down here, and there we've got another tuck, and you still have room to put your photo up there. I'm going to come back, I'll find something, I'll come back and embellish that. I want to see if my hot glue is ready for putting on Mr. Octopus. Come on. I gotta get this top part of this, I think, at least some hot glue in there. Ouch. Just a little on the warm side. I have a little bit of hot glue that snuck out right there, so I'm going to pick it out. And then I'm just going to leave the chain. I thought I was going to adhere it down, but I kind of like it loose. Okay, so now let's... So we've got a big tuck here on the front. Places for photos. We have a tuck. We've got a pocket. We've got another tuck. We've got the big pocket over here. A small pocket here for a lot of these small little items that are in your cut-aparts. And then that, hey, we're looking pretty good actually. Okay, let's go ahead and get the tape on the back side and get it in the album. Now I'm using a little bit wider tape, it's 5/8, simply because this ended up being a pretty sizable build. And I love my octopus, but he's added a little bit of weight, so I'm going to make sure that I've got plenty of tape on here to support him, plus everything else that's going to get added to the album when somebody acquires this. You know, and all my albums that I make are for sale. They're in my Etsy shop. Same as my YouTube channel, My Messy Fingers. I have them listed there for sale. Sometimes it's better to buy one that's already done than to go to the expense of all the paper, the embellishments, the tape, the chipboard, the glue, and then your time. Make sure that's all down there pretty good. So let's go ahead and let's grab our... Now, real quick, this is going to come right to the edge, and this should come about the middle of this paper here. And by adding this in here, it does help to break up that black, but my first dry run at this of adding this, because I'm liking the idea, it's also giving a good focal point as to how deep into the gusset, toward the gusset that I want to go. Because with a 1/4 inch buildup, this has got to have room to bend. So that's why I like to leave some of that room here on the end. Now I'm going to turn it like I always do, so that I can see 3 of the 4 sides when I'm mounting it. Okay, so it's got to go in this direction. All right, so right up toward the edge, equal distance, top and bottom, and push. My pecker, that's what I want. Oh, I wanted this because I got to get in here and burnish. All right, now close it back up so I can get in here and start taking the tape out. Now I'm going to have to kind of twist this just a bit to get in there because it's quite thick. And if you want to take all the tape off, that's entirely up to you, but I want to kind of control how this goes in. And the only way I can do that is just to do it one strip of tape at a time. Now I want to, on both ends, when I pull this tape, I am making sure that that gusset stays up, that it's not collapsed on me. It's moving around right now because I'm squishing, but I don't want it laying down or coming forward. I want it to stand straight up and down. Now this is going to be the pickle. So hang with me here. I need to get inside here to get this last strip of tape. There we go. Give it a good old burnish. Alrighty. There it is. All right, well, we made it through, and like I said, I'll come back and decide whether I've got enough paper to cover the back side of these. And on our next build, go ahead and put your 1/2-inch strip of whatever paper you've got in your scraps. Put a 1/2-inch strip there. And this right here, you can do it now or you can do it later. I like to wait till the end because then I got more scraps to look from. But we're going to be cutting a 1/2-inch strip of paper to run down these gussets. And then that will cover up whatever you used to add your center part. All right, so I will see you on the next build coming up soon.